Get that paper, told that Glock, that's how we live. Yeah, my life's a game, I pray I don't get killed. They can't believe I got to go out this shit for real. Can't accept the fact my brother gone, I wanna kill. Yeah, I can't go for that shit don't sit right. Instead of cabin to the old nigga, I know what you live like. Ain't worried about all, just fuck these hoes and live life. I grown the drill, I'm smart enough, you gotta know how to kill.
Seishiro Nagi's 5-stage volley sent shockwaves through the world of football, igniting both excitement and unease. Across the Neo-Egoist League, rival teams began to tread more cautiously, the wary of brilliance they had just witnessed on the field. Arsenali finally exhaled after a hard-fought victory against Noel Noah's team, their laughter echoing throughout the stadium. Yet, amid the celebration, two players stood apart, their hearts gripped not by joy, but by hunger. Yoichi Isagi and Seishiro Nagi shared the same thought in this moment. That goal simply won't be enough. I need more. Days then began to pass, and training resumed in relentless cycles. For the most, the match faded into memory, but for Nagi, that volley, it became an obsession. One evening, Reo stumbled across him, alone in a room, his eyes locked on a screen replaying that goal yet again. "There you are, Nagi. I've been looking for you," Reo said with a slight chuckle. "Watching your goal again, huh? You really are something else." Nagi didn't respond, his gaze unblinking, his expression unreadable. Finally, he murmured, a voice low but firm, "I can't let this continue. That goal, it came out of nowhere. A fluke. Luck. Something I can't just recreate. I've watched it hundreds of times, and every time, the same thought burns through me. I'll never become the best if I can get satisfied with a goal that can't be repeated." Silence filled the room, heavy with unspoken tension. After a long pause, Nagi stood up, closing his eyes, as if sealing a decision. "Reo, I need to level up again. And so do you. From here on, until the next match, we'll split paths." Reo tilted his head in confusion, but before he could protest, Nagi continued, his voice uncharacteristically earnest. "You're more than just a passer, Reo. I've seen what you could do, especially during the second selection when I wasn't with you. Become the best for yourself so we can reach our dream together." With that, Nagi left, fire in his eyes, isolating himself for a grueling self-training. Meanwhile, Isagi emerged from the sauna, a steam clinging to his skin as he walked towards a room where his mentor awaited. Inside, Chris Prince greeted him with an enigmatic smile. "Yoichi Isagi of the new Gen 11. You're quite the fascinating player, to say the least." His tone then sharpened. "Tell me, why do you hold back against your opponents?" Isagi paused for a moment, then answered steadily. "I like the struggle, the feeling of competition. Just dominating others, it isn't enough for me." The atmosphere began to shift, the air in the room turning cold as Chris Prince grew serious. What he said next would remain unspoken for now. And finally, the day of the match would arrive. Arsenali marched onto the pitch, lining up in a disciplined 4-3-3 formation. Across from them, PXG revealed their own weapons, the Itoshi Ren formation, a system meticulously crafted by Loki himself. The whistle blew, and PXG seized possession from the kickoff. The ball zipped across the field before landing at someone else's feet, someone who wasn't familiar to those from Blue Lock. Charles Chevalier now has the ball. Guess it's my turn, he muttered, with a grin tugging at his lips. Before he could even advance, Eli slid in, boots sparkling against the turf. Not so fast, brat. The clash between them erupted instantly. Charles' smaller frame should have been a disadvantage here, but his control turned into a weapon as you were shown just how much of a prodigy he was at this age. With a sharp twist, he curled a pass around Eli, threading it perfectly to no one other than Itoshi Ren. The defenders barely had time to react. With a ruthless flick, Ren unleashed a trivela shot that bent ridiculously past the keeper and slammed into the net. PXG struck first, sending the crowd into chaos, as on the sidelines, Chris Prince folded his arms, watching in silence. As next to him, Loki smirked. Charles is a prodigy, he declared. I placed him here to sharpen him for my sake. His vision, his passes, they will all help me surpass Noel Noah. Chris chuckled, low and mocking. Cute dream, but there are obstacles in your way. Loki, me, for one, and my students, they aren't the type that you can push aside so easily. Both masters and fell quietly as the ball reset at midfield. This time, it would roll to Yoichi Isagi. His eyes, they burned. I'll show you all true strength. It was as if he stepped into a fire itself. A new Isagi emerged on the pitch. Nanase was the first defender to confront him. His improved ambidextrous style of play made him an even tougher defender and wall to break. But Isagi shredded him with explosive dribbling and acceleration, slipping past. Next, then came Tokimitsu. He tried to body Isagi, but the difference in raw force, it was staggering. With a sharp pivot of his core, Isagi shoved him aside, sending him tumbling into the grass. The commentators would gasp here. Unbelievable. Yoichi Isagi is treading down the field by himself as if he's a one-man army. What could come next from this attack? Finally, Choppa surged in to block his shooting lane, but even that was futile. Having studied Kaiser's impact firsthand, Isagi had forged his own answer. Without telegraphing, without a wind-up, without anything to declare it, he struck the ball with brutal precision and power as it ripped into the net, sliding past the shoulder and head of Choppa as he tried to block it. He didn't even feel the wind of it. It was a violent shot, but it was almost ghostly in a manner. This wasn't just an equalizer. It was a declaration. Arsenali was not here to be anyone's stepping stone. And it was all said by Isagi's phantom shot. Ren's eyes narrowed, a fire igniting inside of him. Charles too felt the thrill of this match, his pulse racing, as he then realized how much he was enjoying himself. Soon, Nanase fell back to Ren, who advanced with his destroyer aura blazing. This time, an unexpected figure awaited him. Seishiro Nagi. His presence was different, calmer, sharper, suffused with quiet determination. His eyes locked on to Ren, his balance and instincts allowing him to cling close, suffocating Ren's options. Forced, Ren slipped the pass back to Charles, who used a teammate as a smokescreen. The two prodigies igniting their own chemical reaction here, culminating in a devastating strike that thundered into a goal. PXG surged ahead once again. Arsenali now stood at the crossroads, and in that moment, Mikage Reo awakened. I won't let our dreams die here, Nagi. His flow state burst open, and his perfect coffee style awaiting a pass. Soon the game would reset, and he gets the ball, unleashing his full brilliance here, gliding across the field like Sai himself. Reo, dazzled with seamless precision, spotted Nagi ahead. He launched a soaring pass. Nagi trapped it effortlessly with his heel. Nice one, Reo. I'll handle the rest. No longer haunted by uncertainty, his aura radiated life. Enlightened, Nagi danced past the defenders and then leaped into the air as he flicked the ball. He met it mid-flight, and with a scissor kick, it sliced into the net. A tie. A tie in this moment, with the crowd erupting. The stadium's atmosphere, it thickened. The next goal wins. Both benches erupted with fire, and in a shocking twist, each master subbed themselves into the game. Loki and Charles together. Now, against Prince and Isagi together. With PXG having the ball here, Loki and Charles tore apart the field. Their chemistry, explosive and quick. The young midfielders' vision rivaled his seniors, while the God Sprinters spearheaded the assault. Their synergy climaxed in a lethal shot from Loki. It then soared through the air. All hope seemed as if it was lost, only for Yoichi Isagi to intercept the ball. His trap was perfect, almost replicating Nagi, his eyes blazing. Victory belongs to those willing to die for it. He runs up the field, with Ren then stepping forward, lips curled, his tongue hanging out as madness gleamed in his eyes. Then let's die here, Isagi. The two collided in a ferocious duel. Isagi dribbled left. It was cut off. He then spun the ball, his body twisting, but Ren mirrored him perfectly with suffocating pressure. Shoulder to shoulder, they battled until Isagi abruptly halted, shoving off Ren. In an instant, with this opening, he rainbow flicked the ball over Ren's head. Then, he slipped it past him, towards Elias. Elias traps the ball, looking back at his friend. Not bad, Isagi, he would grin. But we'll take it from here. Right, Reo? The midfielder duo surged, stitching together short passes like a symphony, each one sharper than the last. Reo carved out into space and fired a shot, but Nanase was able to just deflect it. Even if it was just so small, it did enough to send the ball off course as it would ricochet against the post, bouncing wildly back into play. Suddenly, no one was around the ball, but someone would appear, as there he stood, Seishiro Nagi. I alone will deliver victory. Every movement flowed with perfect efficiency. Everything, from the traps to his elastic control. Even Loki was able to sprint back with impossible speed. And he was trying to defend, but he was unprepared for what followed. A strike like no other. No spin, no rotation, floating unnaturally, as if it was defying everything about a technical football shot. And then, as Loki tried to deflect it, it plummeted with a violent swerve. The crowd held its breath as the ball smacked against the back of the net. The zero gravity volley. Seishiro Nagi had ended the match. Arsenali erupted in celebration. Chris Prince stood frozen, his mind already wandering to the future. A new age is being born right before my eyes. And it's pretty exciting. Nagi then walked towards Isagi. The two stared down for a moment before exchanging a sharp high five. Not bad, Seishiro Nagi. Not bad at all. Isagi smirked. Nagi then raised his fist to the sky, sending it towards the crowd and sending them into a frenzy. Elsewhere, Jinpachi Ego sat before his monitors, his glasses gleaming as he unwound the footage. Seems I miscalculated you, Nagi. This evolution of yours. Unexpected. Henri then glanced at him. Didn't you say his last goal was a fluke? Ego's eyes shifted to another screen. One that showed Isagi and Sai. His voice was calm, but edged with excitement. These two prodigies here, they're something else. They're truly works of art. They'll be the reason why Japan conquers the World Cup. They have the power and the brilliance to unlock 100% of the potential of these unpolished gems around them. Leaning back into his chair, he adjusted his glasses, a thin smile tugging from his lips. The world is at your fingertips, Seishiro Nagi. Blue Lock's enlightened one. Arsenali was now undefeated in the Neo-Egoist League, and each one of its players have exceeded previous expectations. This team, it was on the verge of something special, something that wouldn't be witnessed in history ever before. So what lies ahead of them? Only 2 more matches lay on the horizon. So what could happen next? Who could step up and score a super goal that changes the outlook on how they play football? What more lies in front for Isagi? Is he truly ready to conquer Japan with Seishiro Nagi as a striker? All that and more lies in the next part. My name is Zero, and I'll catch you all on the next one.